Hey guys, welcome to 180 Drums and welcome to the Fresh Sticks Pack. Now here's the beat we're going to be learning today, a little bit slower. Now, if that seems tough to you, maybe you should go back and also check out some of our other stuff where we talk about learning how to count, learning how to read drum notation. I'm going to assume that you guys have some of that down, and if you don't have it perfectly down, that's okay. Just push through. This lesson is going to teach you your first groove in a rather simple format. Alright, so first things first, this is what we're playing on the hi-hat. We're playing 4 strokes, and I want us to count them out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try that together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, really simply, all we're going to do is add a bass drum to that on beats 1 and beats 3. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, when you're playing them, try and make sure that your bass drum and your hi-hat are landing up as close as possible. Let's give that a try. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You need to slow that down, take a minute and practice that. Now I'm also going to encourage you guys, follow along on the PDF. It's okay if you're intimidated by reading. It's okay if you don't know how to read just perfectly yet, but it's like the English language. We learn as we've adapted to it and been able to spend some time learning a couple words as kids and then learning the alphabet and what those words and letters look like. Alright, so that's the goal. Just try and follow along, try and keep up. So far, we've demonstrated number 1 on the PDF by counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and we just did number 2 on the PDF. It's that simple. Alright, now let's try number 3 on the PDF, where we're going to add a backbeat on 2 and on 4. So that'll look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to count us in. Let's give that a try together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, another really useful thing we can do before we put that all together is practice counting the 8th note. So far we've been counting those quarter notes. Again, quarter notes are 1, 2, 3, 4. In each bar, you'll see that little bar line dividing the bars. We have 4. And every time we cross over the bar line, we have another 4. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to count 8 notes. 8 notes are counting the space in between each of these 4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's give that a try, playing pattern number 3 on the PDF again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now the reason counting is important, which we'll stress so much on 180 Drums on the site, is the ability to help yourself hear the grid. Alright, we're kind of on an imaginary grid, and by counting, it really helps us hear the space between the notes as well as where the notes are being played. Alright, so that's pattern 3. Let's try number 4. Let's put all these aspects together. Again, we've got the bass drum on beat 1, snare drum on beat 2, bass drum again on beat 3, snare drum again on beat 4. Let's give that a try. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now if you need to take a minute to work that out, that's fine. You gotta go slow with this stuff. This is the foundation. It's so crucial that we learn to just take our time with these beats. We learn to make sure that our bass drum and our hi-hat are landing up and our snare drum and hi-hat are landing up. Now once we're comfortable with it, let's move our right hand over to the ride cymbal and play the exact same thing. That'll look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and repeat and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and Now, don't be discouraged if you can't get that right away, and don't be discouraged if you can't count over top of playing right away. I know a lot of really great drummers who still can't count over top of playing, and again, I'll stress that counting isn't the end. It's just a means to the end. It's a means to help us learn and get better at the drums, but don't feel any pressure to count right away. At least I'm gonna pressure you guys nonstop to count because I use it for myself a lot, especially as things get more busy and technical. Counting is really helpful. But let's take that exact same pattern we just played on the ride cymbal and move our right hand down to the floor tom. This is an area where I see a lot of players struggle because we're learning balance right now too. We're not just learning to play beats, our body's moving and it's changing the way things feel. So let's try it on the floor tom.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Repeat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and.
Alright guys, that's every example on the PDF for this lesson. Make sure you take your time, make sure you practice it on every surface you have available on the drum kit without breaking something, so you can even play it on the rims.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and.
You can play it on the crash cymbal.
1, 2, 3, 4.
This is up to you guys to get creative, to explore different surfaces and different options and sound options. There's so much you can do with this one beat. Now, the other thing I will say, practice it very slow and work your way up in speed. And try also not to speed up as you play it. Always start slow, and if you're gonna go faster, stop and then start at a new speed, all right? Because if we practice by speeding up as we feel comfortable, you'll one day be playing with a band, on a gig, or just jamming with someone, and as you feel comfortable, you start to do this. That is not what we're aiming for. That's not a good idea. Practice everything slow, and if you want to start at a new speed, set it up for yourself by either counting in or just simply stopping and going, okay, I want to try this faster. What would be a good speed? And trial and error, all right? If you guys have questions about this, please ask, but let's get ready to move on and build on this groove. It's our foundation. It's important. Take your time. Don't rush, and I will see you guys in the next Fresh Sticks lesson.